is that we just write down a code into a packet, we can say into a packet, and wherever we need it we can call it again and again as much as we can, or as much as the programmer needed on that spot. So basically what we do, it makes the program more structurable. What happened that, suppose I have written down this hello someone several times here into the main program, hello someone, again hello someone, again hello someone, again hello someone, again hello someone, several times. So what happens, it creates the programming structure more ambiguous, and also it creates very much complex kind of structure. Sometimes we not need that thing. It is very easy because we are saying it in a single simple 5 lines or 7 lines of code. But if there is 300 lines of coding, then what happens, it is very ambiguous to find, particularly find out that which type of coding basically it will throw, or which type of coding structure it is going to be followed. So that's why what we do, to create more program, more functionable and more efficient, we just write down a function. Inside the function we declare all of our tasks which is need to be executed, and in my main program we basically call the function where we need it. That's how the program becomes more efficient. Now that is from the definition part what I have told you, but what is the main accessible part? Whenever we move to the object oriented section, what happened, into the object oriented section the function defines something. That means the characteristics of a class is basically defined by the function or the methods. Okay. So just let's create a coding. This is simple coding, let's do it. Suppose I'm creating addition function, so it will take 2 I, and it will return I plus j. Now from the main method, just if I wanted to print it, just call it add 10 or 20. So that's how we basically print. You can use the function. I can here you can write down some several functionality as much as you need it. Okay, that you guys try it. Now the next point is, you guys already know that Python follows the interpreter, not the compiler. That's why this is you always have to follow that this definition part of the function always have to be defined above the main part. Think about this, from where it is calling, above that the function is should be defined. Don't actually, you all have to follow that way, that oriented way, otherwise it will throw the error. Because first, actually why basically it will throw the error, let me show you. Suppose I have defined here def add I comma j I plus j. So what happened? Suppose when Python compiler start, as I told you, the compiler executes line by line and will throw the result. When the line came, when this line came from the execution, it will find out where is the add method. There is no add method defined. So then it will throw the error. So always you have to define above from where it is calling. So the best practice is try to define the functions or the methods at the beginning of your programming. Clear, everyone? Now,
Yes, sir.
okay, let me. Okay. Next part is, this function is basically modified, and not but modified basically. This function, whenever we call it from the object oriented concept, it is accessible by the method name. Okay. We then call this function as a method. Okay. That will come in the next day, in the next part. Now this is the procedure functional part that we guys already know. Next comes a special type of function that is known as the anonymous function. This is known as the anonymous function. Anonymous function are those which basically the function that does not have any name. That is a special feature of the Python. The function that does not have any name is known as the anonymous function. So this in Python there is one kind of anonymous function we have used that is known as a lambda function. We call it also one line function. This function only have a single line. This everything, the body part, everything is declared in a single line. So let's show you an example. I'm doing the same thing, nothing but the addition purpose. So let's take the addition value. P here, as it takes only one parameter, I can send only single parameter. Let it be 5. So what will be the output result? Nothing but the output result will be simple. It will show you the 5 plus 5 10. So if I wanted to send it 2 parameter, if I need to say, so I can declare it as a x comma y, then x plus y. That's how you can modify the variables. You can modify the changes. That is known as the lambda variable. Sorry, that is known as the lambda function. So later when we learn today next day, I will show you one thing, that how do we define the entire list, or some couple of line in a single line, like list declaration or taking the input inside the list. Everything we can define into a single line of execution, single line of statement.
Sir, hello.
So yes,
You said about the anonymous function. We don't have any name, right?
yeah, I don't get it.
So can you please repeat the first one? That anonymous. What about anonymous function?
Yeah,
What little bit?
actually why it is called anonymous function, because see, this function has no name. This
Okay,
function
okay, got
has
it.
no name. That's why it is called the anonymous function. We
Right.
define it with a special name, that is the lambda function. Lambda function is a one kind of example of this anonymous function.
Okay.
So that's how we can basically create the addition of it. So this basically reduce the stretch of a normal function. So in Python programming language, suppose the program structure is very small, you just need to execute sometimes, then you can use this lambda function.
Sir,
Yes.
sometimes we create some functions in a condition or sometime in loop.
Hmm.
So these functions are also will call lambda function or not?
Hmm. Suppose you need to use a loop. Okay.
Yes.
So let me show you. Suppose what program I should pick. Mm, okay, let me show you. Actually, for odd event, basically to do no, odd event, we need to use the filter method. That's different. Mm, okay, let me check it. Okay, so we can see, let's take one value equals to, suppose I define one variable x and checking that this x is going to be either greater than some value. You can take it as based on your own, or you can go with some your variable, that is a. Okay. Or just if we wanted to check it the range, so the return value would be nothing but what happens. Suppose if I pass it value equal to, um, this is my first value, first parameter. Okay, here I have to write all this three things. It will throw the error. Okay, let me declare it as static, nothing for now. So what happens, see here, basically it will check that is your function, is your return value either it is greater than your 10 or less than your 50. Okay, so based on that it returns a value. But what you have said that suppose we wanted to use it in a loop, or suppose we wanted to use it in a if else statement,
Yes.
we have to use another method that is known as a filter, sorry, and as well as the map. These two methods are there. We have to use it alternately within that, because lambda function basically it returns some kind of value, but whenever we are going to checking it with some procedure, then we have to use this thing, otherwise it will throw the ambiguity. One thing we can do also, let me check it once. uh, Suppose I take one value, I wanted to create a if else statement inside a lambda function. I need a big line for it. Suppose a value again, value equals to lambda x, such that it will return some values. Let's think if it will return the value of square when if the value is greater than, the value is greater than 0, the value is greater than 0.
Just less than, sir, not greater than.
Sorry, is greater than 0, 50, else it will return a x, yeah, to the power, let's take it as a 4 if x greater than is uh, 50, is greater than equals to 50. Let's see the structure becomes very big. Okay, how it is working, let me tell you. First it checks that what it will return, the return value is x greater, okay, the statement is nothing but simple. That's why for more than value we use the lambda function. It gave you a 30. So it would check, it will return the square value of our 30 value. Next, how it is? It is checked either the value is greater than 0 or less than 0. It is a certain condition. You can put a bracket here also. You can put it here, a bracket. So don't worry, don't. Here you don't need it. If the value is greater than 0 or less than 50, the range is in between that, they return the square value, or else it will return the fourth value if the value is less than 50. This else come, uh, this else basically else part of complete statement. Nothing but if we wanted to arrange it with the ellipse statement, then what happened? The last else comes as it is. Nothing but here. This. So this code becomes more complex. So that's why for this operation purpose, we use the map function, map and filter. So before starting the map with filter, I have to show you one thing, that is a comprehension tip. Otherwise, the statement becomes more ambiguous. Clear? Don't worry, just leave the complex structure for now. First, start with the basics, some simple addition or any power kind of structure, or checking if the list is present or not. You can do this kind of thing also. Suppose check equals to, sorry, lambda x colon for r in some list, just global list equal to sound value. Yeah, that should be okay. Leave this thing, because for that reason you have to learn the comprehension technique. Before comprehension, to throw the okay. So it keeps you confusing, but don't worry. We have to learn first comprehension. Comprehension technique means we already declared the list, the tuples, the dictionary, multiple in multiple formatted. Okay. Either by we have creating one array for it, or by we have creating one tuples for it, by one creating of some dictionary or some array inside a dictionary. That's way. But this list comprehension, what happened? We basically declare the every statement or everything into a single line. So just let me show you the way how can just I'm showing it how to create a list comprehension. This is the last for today. So
Sir,
yes,
sir, the above part else x. Sir, if we
mm,
put any minus value, so it will throw error, na?
yes.
I think.
I told you na, like whenever you are basically creating this minor, the checking operation. Okay,
Yes, sir.
the
Yeah.
checking operation in a single line is become more ambiguous. That I already tried. So for that reason, we have to use the map, and we have to inside this through the map. We have to pass the value. Maybe it is a single value, maybe it is a list of value. But if you are a single value, you can convert it to single list element and you can pass it through.
Mhm.
Now, okay, let's take a list L1. Let's do. I'll just taking two lists only. This is my new list. And for Python, for I in L1 new list dot append that we have done to create a new list or to copy a new list. Now this same thing I will do in a single line. I need these two lists also. Now The return value would be nothing but the copied of this. So this three line is suppressed and I can declare it with a single line. That is known as the list comprehension technique. So here we can modify some another way also. So let me create another list, that is let L2 equals to for I for in L1. Okay, and let's create one operation. If suppose I wanted to take the apple value A, so if A in I, that means it check that this A is if there is present into this loop or into this E, just like this cherry, it will not copy it there into it. That's how we can create the list comprehension technique. Clear? It is a little bit moderate, but just practice it, then you will go for it. Clear? All?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I will not continue up to that because what happened, it would take time. The next, like if I wanted to start from the oops concept or the map filter, it takes time. Near about one happen.
Last one.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay. So just practice it. The list comprehension. Just go with practice it, or if you find any issue, ping me. I will share some examples of it. Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
So can you please explain the last
This one.
part? The-
This
This
one.
one,
What
new list,
happened? This one.
new list.
New list. See what this function. This function basically checks started from the last one. Okay. For I in L1, what it to return? Each of the iteration, it returns each of the element of this L1, and
Hmm.
we are going to show it from here. This I. This is a syntax. That's all you have to follow. That way, that formatted way. Into that I, it has all this apple, banana, and chip. These three elements. Now, this elements is going to store into the new list.
So
So
this is a
basically,
comprehensive.
yeah, this is a comprehension of a list. This is the structure we have to follow. There is no yeah, we cannot break it down to some other context. We have to follow like I basically just learn it from the English literature book. Like A for something, so A contains the all of the list. That's why. So this I basically it will execute until and unless how many times? Three times, because three elements is present, and
Yes,
the
sir.
entire list would be three apple, banana, and cherry, and that is assigned to the new list. Clear?
Okay.
So just practice it. It is not so easy. It is a little bit moderate. Just practice it. Then it will be complete. Clear? And try to finish the assignment part. So next day we will move to the your object-oriented concept. Then there will be three two or three structure there. So I will complete these two things. Then day, the final day, I will start the coding. I will show you some part of the coding and I will share some codes with you. Okay. Any issues?
Okay, sir.
Any issues or any doubt?
Sir,
Yes.
sir, the last part in
Hmm.
L2, sir, it will search for A. If you get the A in the Apple section,
Hmm.
then it will store only the Apple, right?
Yes. Basically, it will check that either this A is present or not. If this
Mm.
A is present into my I, then it will
Yeah.
store. If the A is not present, this character, then it will not store the value. Like apple
Okay.
contains A, it will store.
Yes. Yes.
Banana contains A, it will also store. But the cherry contains banana contains A.
Oh, yes, sir.
So that's how you can create the you can create some special kind of technique like some odd event. If you wanted to store the odd even value into a list, you can filter it like that way. It's list
Hello, sir.
comprehensive way. Yes.
Sir, you said that A is present in the I, right? In the
Hmm.
L1 part, A is present in apple, in
Hmm.
banana also,
Hmm.
in cherry, in banana, apple and banana. So it will,
Hmm.
if it find the first one A only, it will stop the loop or it will continue
No,
up
no,
to.
no. It will not stop the loop. It will continue up to that.
Okay,
It will
then after
it
after
will
then after
continue up to it.
Okay.
up to
Okay.
how much element is there. Okay. See, if A in I, what is its store? A in I nothing but the first one is apple. Okay. Next statement it says if A in banana. So what is the return value of it? The return value is true. The A is present here. Here also return value is true. The A is present here. If it is true, then what happened? The I got the element.
Okay, sir.
Okay, I will share some examples. Okay,
Okay,
some
sir.
comparison examples.
Okay, sir.
In your group, I will share it.
Okay.
Okay, okay, okay. Then just practice it and finish this question, whatever we gave you. Okay, if any issues come, then ping me and try to finish the pattern session because pattern session is very interesting. Okay, so practice it and just one any of you just remind me to share this the example part. Okay, maybe tomorrow I will share. If I
Okay, sir.
forgot, just anyone just ping me.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so that's it for today. Sir, you can stop the recording and you can close the session. Okay, then you cannot leave the meeting room and me also. Sir, you can stop the recording and stop the meeting room also. Can anyone can inform sir because currently I'm not sitting with my mobile. So anyone just ping me in the group.